Find dy dx for the equation y is equal to x minus 1 over 3x plus 2. So as you can see, we have two functions of x dividing. So that means we apply the quotient rule, which states that dy dx is equal to, start with a v, then you have du dx minus u dv dx and end with a v squared. Always remember to start with a v and end with v squared. You can't swap these two because of this minus. And then our u is always the number on is always the numerator. I normally say up to help me memorize them, or you can simply use the alphabetical order. So u, and then you have a v in the alphabetical order. So our u is equal to x plus 1, x minus 1, and then our v is equal to 3x plus 2. So our du dx, remember we want du dx, we can get it from here. This will simply be a 1, and then our dv dx, you get this from here. This will simply be a 3, since this one will give us a 0. And then we can substitute these values in here and say dy dx is equal to v, which is equal to 3x plus 2 minus, of course, multiplied by du dx. Du dx is simply a 1, then minus our u is x minus 1 multiplied by dv dx, which is simply a 3, and then everything over v squared. That's our v. You don't need to expand this, you can leave it in that form unless there is something interesting about expansion. So we can expand the numerator and simplify. This is like negative 3x, and then this times this will be positive, times this we have this, and then we have 3x plus 2 squared, so that our dy dx will be 3x minus 3x is 0, 2 plus 3, this is 5, then everything over 3 plus 2 squared. So you can leave it here. You really don't need to expand the denominator. So for part B, we have two variables, x and y, which are related by the equation 2y is equal to 4x squared minus 5x minus 3. And then they want us to obtain an expression for dy dx and to find the approximate change in y as x increases from 2 to 2.01. So to differentiate this, we have 2y is equal to 4x squared minus 5x minus 3. You can either make y the subject of the formula and then differentiate, or differentiate first by saying this will be 2 dy dx, and then differentiate this side and then divide through by 2. So I'm not going to do this. I'll make y the subject of the formula first. So y will be, you divide both sides by 2, that is dividing through by 2. So this one will simply be a y, then this will be 2x squared, then this will be 5 over 2x, then this will be negative 3 over 2. So now this is easy to differentiate. So our dy dx is this times this will be 4x, then this will reduce by 1 so that we have an x, and then the power there is 1 times this will be 5 over 2. When this reduces by 1, it becomes x to the power 0, which is simply a 1. So we can ignore it. So this is our dy dx. We have solved the first part of the question. To solve the second part, which says find the approximate change in y as x increases from 2 to 2.06. So in this case, the initial value of x is called the k, and then the change in x is denoted by this delta x, or the change in x. So delta x is found by subtracting this from this. Remember, delta x is the small change or the small increment in x. So x increased by this minus this. So the small increment in x is this. X increased by 0.06. So now to find the small increment in y as x increases from this to this, we use this formula. The change in y, or delta y, is equal to dy dx when x is equal to k multiplied by the change in x, which is delta x. So we have everything we need. Our delta x, this is not an x, by the way, it's a delta. I don't know if it's the lowercase version of this or the uppercase. I think it should be the lowercase. Dy dx is this one here. So we have 4x minus 5 over 2 when x is equal to, our k is the initial value of x, which is 2, multiplied by delta x. Our delta x is the change in x, which is 0.06. And then this is supposed to be delta y. Our delta y will be, where there is x, you put your 2 minus 5 over 2, then multiplied by 0.06. So our delta y will be this times this, which is 8 minus 5 over 2 multiplied by 0.06. So this times this is 16 minus this, we have an 11 over 2 multiplied by 0.06. We can reduce our numbers. And then this times this will simply be 0. Something like 33. Let me just verify it. Starting from there, you can say 8 minus 5 divided by 2 multiplied by 0.06. Yes, this is 0.33, and that's your answer. That's the small increment in y. Please, this is not an 8, it's delta y.